4 of the Chibi Robo setup, and we're gonna make the model here armature or rigging ready. Okay, so this will be rigid body, rigid style armature, no bending, kind of like a soft body or organic. This is all, it's a robot, right? But it's still in several pieces right here, so we're going to have to set it up so that it'll be ready for rigging and then for animation. Okay, not part of the 3 parts of the modeling. I'm going to have to cover this later about giving it like eyelids. I added this kind of last. I didn't know that it has eyelids until I saw some of the animations. So we're just going to add those later. So this is all about naming and then joining things. Okay. So let's first start with this part right here. So the upper arm and the shoulder. Okay. So what I'll do with this is that we're going to get rid of whatever. We just set the mirror before. The whole purpose of the mirror is to when you're modeling that you could see the other side, and it's just to confirm that it's symmetry and whatnot. So we're going to turn off all this now. So even the subdivision surface, which is the 3rd part of that lesson, we're going to turn this off also. Okay, or get rid of it. Okay, so get rid of mirror and subdivision surface. So we're going to start with this upper arm right here. I'm going to shift click the shoulder, and as you can see, the pivot point, it's still at the center right there. So what I need to do with this is join these 2 together. So Control J. Okay, since I clicked the sphere last, which is the shoulder, automatically we have a correct pivot point already. It's in here where the shoulder is, so we can do the rotation and it'll be perfect. Okay, so that one is kind of done, and then we're gonna name this one. Let me go to my object. This will be shoulder. Well, no, we're gonna call this, sorry, upper arm. That L. This is the left one. So that naming convention is we're gonna put dot L. For the object itself, and the bone will be the exact same name. Okay, so there's that. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So lower arm, shift click the elbow, Control J. All right, let me turn on the screencast right there. So it's kind of small, like, and I don't know if I can do anything with that one regarding size, but hopefully you can see it right there. So this one is going to be the lower arm dot L. Okay, and enter. Okay, this one would be the wrist dot L. All right, so, and then we'll talk about what limitations and whatnot on those. So this one, the clause needs to be separate. So what I'll do is I'm going to press slash or forward slash, so it kind of isolates it like so. I think, let me check something. Let me click undo. Let's see here. All right, so for this one, yeah, I got to get rid of mirror, subdivision as well. Okay. All right, so I want to make sure lower arm. Okay, this one, get rid of mirror, subdivision as well, and then we name this one wrist.L, and we go to the claw right here, forward slash to hide everything, get rid of the mirror as well, and subdivision. All right. So this would be kind of interesting to kind of set here. So I'll go mirror first, This will be along the y-axis, okay? And I'm going to apply the mirror. So we're going to get this object and that object, but let's separate it. So I'm going to go Control plus on the other one, kind of select it. Then P, as in Popeye, selection, separate by selection. We now have two objects, okay? So we can call this one claw. Would be, if it's facing, let's say claw 1 dot L. Okay, and then we're going to call this one claw 2 dot L. Okay, so let's bring everything back. So we got the upper arm, lower arm, we have a wrist, claw 2, claw 1. Okay, and we can mirror that so that we'll have it on the other side. So I'm going to select this one. We're going to apply a mirror along the X right there, and then I'm going to select the center as the body, so it goes over there. Okay, and what I'll do with the mirror is that I'm going to apply it. So this becomes, so when I select this piece right here, so I'm going to select one face on the shoulder, one face on the upper arm. I'm going to do Control plus, press P right here, and separate by selection. Okay, so then this becomes an object by itself. Okay, but the pivot point is still where the other one is, so I'm going to do set the pivot point here. So I'm going to hit plus on that one, so the whole sphere is selected. Okay, then I'll do a mesh. I'm going to snap the cursor to selected, okay, which is at the center of that object. And then after that one, this object right here, I'm going to set the origin to the 3D cursor. So if we take a look at the front, it's the same as this one. All right, and we have to rename this as the upper arm dot R. All right, and then we'll do the same thing with this. I can also duplicate this and then just kind of, let's do another technique. So I'm going to do Shift D, so it's duplicated. Okay, and then position wise, that's probably going to be the issue, is that because the pivot point, it's right on this one, so it'll probably be better to do exactly what I did on the other one than simply kind of mirroring it. I mean, then doing the minus X scaling along the X, then we have to worry about where the pivot point is. So let's just do it exactly the same. So I'm just going to mirror this, okay, and then the center would be the body, so it flips it on that side, and then we will apply this. Okay, we're going to select this one right here. Okay, one face and another face selection, and then when we do Control plus, it just selects the whole thing. You can also do a rectangular Marquee selection by going to the X-ray, and then you can select it like so. So here I'm going to press P, as in Popeye, and then I'm going to do separate by selection, so this is by itself. The thing is, again, the pivot point, it's still over here, so we got to transfer it here, and we want to make sure it's at the center of this one. Okay, again, we're doing this if the whole purpose at this point is to not use any bones. You just want to animate it using the object. So it's also good practice to know how to set it up like so. So Control plus. All right, so the entire sphere is selected, so I can show that to you in wireframe mode. There it is. Okay, and then here we're going to do a mesh snap. Okay, cursor to selected, so it goes in there. We're going to go to object mode, and then we're going to set the origin to the 3D cursor, and now this has exact same setup as the other. Okay, all right, it'll be the same thing for the wrist and the claw. Okay, so the wrist right here, mirror, center it right there. Okay, and this one here, we're gonna mirror it also. Looks like that one is still set to that with a pivot point. That's fine. This one here, same thing. All right, so let's just kind of break away from that one. So I'm going to apply the mirror here, apply the mirror here. So that means it's no longer mirrored, it's permanent. Okay, that one as well. Apply the mirror. Okay, and then we got to separate those objects. So here I'm going to select this, the whole thing, press P, separate by selection. Okay, same thing with this one. Select one face, Control plus to select everything, and it's detaching it from that. P, selection, separate object. Same thing with this. Select one part, face, select the whole thing, press P, selection. It's now a separate object. So it's just a matter of naming this now. So that's claw2.r because it's the right side. This one as well, claw01.r, wrist.r, and lower arm.r, and this one here, upper arm.r. Okay, so other than the pivot point, which it should be right here, so let's go set that up real quick. So I'm going to isolate it. Okay, I'm going to select this face right here, and then mesh, snap, cursor to selected, go to object mode, and then we're going to go set the origin to the 3D cursor. So if I go to the top right now and rotate, there it is. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for this. Press slash to isolate it. Select this face right here. Mesh, snap, cursor to selected. Okay. And we probably could have left it there because it was close enough. Object set origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Then we go to the wrist. Let's see. Is it centered? It looks like it. So that one is fine. This one right here, however, is not. We're just going to set the origin to this, to geometry. Origin to geometry, it center itself. This one, not so much. Let's isolate it. Okay, so we're gonna get that selection, mesh, snap, selection, cursor to selected, then go to object mode, object set origin, origin to 3D cursor. Let's reveal this one. Okay, it looks like the it's already set right there, so we're just going to go set origin to the 3D cursor. So that one's done. Let me save this now. Save it as Robo Chibi. This is low poly with bevel, pivot, and name. All right, so we're naming stuff and we're changing the pivot point. All right, so let's go with this one. Simply, this one is the body. No designation of left and right because it's only one. This will be the neck. Okay, this is the head. All right, and this will be the oh yeah, we got to separate this as well. So hit tab, select one, like so. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to press P. I gotta, sorry, get rid of subdivision, go to object mode, apply the mirror. Okay, and then just select one, press P. This would be selection, and we're gonna call this one is I.L. Okay, and then we want the origin to the geometry exactly in the center. This one as well, set origin to geometry, but we got to rename this. This is I.R. Let's not worry about the lid since I didn't add them to the lesson yet. Okay, so let's go here. This is the waist right here. All right, and we're going to go to the lower parts now. So this is the I'm looking at it here. We're gonna get rid of the subdivision and apply the mirror. Get rid of the subdivision and apply the mirror. Get rid of the subdivision, apply the mirror. Apply mirror, no subdivision. Same thing with this, apply the mirror, no subdivision. Okay, because we're going to add the subdivision after the fact. You don't want to be joining things with the subdivision in there, and then it'll be converted to a high polygon. All right, so for this one, let's separate. I'm going to control plus that one, so that whole thing is selected right here. Let me see if I can raise that up. There we go. Press P, selection. Okay, so this one right here, we do want the pivot point on this one. Most likely, maybe here for now. Okay, this top part right here. So I'm gonna go mesh, snap, cursor to selected. Okay, and then we're going to go object, set origin to 3D cursor. Give this one a name. This one is foot dot R. No, this is dot L, sorry. That's the left foot. And then do the same thing for this one. Select the top part right there. And we're going to change we're going to snap the cursor to the selected, set the origin to the 3D cursor, give this one a name. This is foot dot R. Okay, so yeah, we're going now into kind of a little serious business here because of if you don't name your stuff, you won't be able to keep track of anything. So all right, so we're just going to call it upper leg and lower leg. Okay, I'm going to select this first and then select that. Okay, and then I'm going to do Control J, combine the two together. Okay, and we're going to select all the pieces there by doing Control R, P, separate the selection so that's by itself. Okay. And this one here, I'm going to select all the sphere parts. That way, whatever the selection is in here, then I'm going to go to snap cursor to selected. Okay, basically in the center of that selection. And then here, I'm going to go set origin to the 3D cursor, and then just to check, there it is. It's working fine. The same thing with this one. We haven't named that one yet, so we'll go back to it. So I'm going to select all that. I'm going to mesh, snap cursor to selected. Then we're going to go to object, set origin to 3D cursor. This is the upper leg dot R. This is the lower leg dot L. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for this. We're going to everything is applied already, so I'm just going to separate it here so that we don't have to redo the pivot point on this one. Let's just select that whole thing right there, press P, selection. Okay, then while this thing is selected, I'm going to go set origin to geometry. Okay, then I can just shift, well, I got to separate this first, sorry. Select all of that right there, press P, selection. Okay, so we just select this and that, shift click the knee basically. All right, Control J, and it retains the pivot point. So same thing here, shift click the knee last, Control J, and it has that. Okay, so what we need to do with this is rename this one. So this one be lower leg dot, this one is L. This one is lower leg dot R. All right, looks like we got those parts. Okay, and the lids right here for now, I'm gonna basically hide those for now. Oh, selected the wrong things. Those, hide those, because I gotta cover those on another lesson. Okay, all right, so those things are kind of grayed out. Let's see, we got all the objects, the tail right here. So I don't know what this one is. This is the let's turn that off for now, and we're going to call this one cable cable end. This is the cable. And we're gonna rig this last. I'm thinking probably do bendy bones on this. Okay, and then this is the, we're just going to select both of those and select this last, Control J, so they're all kind of together. And we don't want subdivision surface in that one. We're gonna call this one, this is the cable plug. Okay, cable plug, cable, end, and it looks like we got everything named. Okay, so for the sake of just let's say animating this in forward kinematics like an action figure, we can start doing the parenting. All right, so let me save this real quick. Okay, and save it as a different name now. Pivot, bevel name, and then we'll go here, parent. So we know that's the file where we parented everything, right? So the one that will carry all this will be this waste right here. This is where we put a controller later on when we do our IK. Okay, so everything will be parented to this. And when we parent, we always select the parent last. So if I go body first and then select the parent last right here, Control P, okay, object. So this is now the parent of the body. Whenever we move that waist, it moves the body. Okay, we want the order here. So the both claw will be parented to the wrist. So we're going to select the wrist last, Control P, object. So whenever we do with this, the claw follows. The wrist will be parented to the lower arm. Okay, Control P, object. The lower arm will be parented to the upper arm. Control P, object. The upper arm will be parented to the body. Object. Same thing here. Both claw. Shift click the wrist. Wrist is selected last. Control P, object. All right, just to check. Okay, wrist to the lower arm, Control P, object. Lower arm to the upper arm, Control P, object. Upper arm to the body, Control P, object. All right, the head, the eyes for now, let's parent them to the head, Control P, object. The head will be parented to the neck, Control P, object. Neck parented to the body. Okay, so the body is the parent of both arms and neck. All right, so now going up here, foot parented to the lower leg. Okay, Control P, object. Same thing here, Control P, object. Lower leg parented to the upper leg, object. Object. Both legs parented to the waist right here, object. All right, then the cable end going to the body, cable to the cable end, and this is one piece now. I joined it together, so I'm going to join it here for now. Okay, so now the entire setup, if we grab the if we get a helper real quick, add empty circle. Okay, I'm going to go RX90, so it's flat on the ground. Okay, we're going to go 7 right here, and we want to kind of center that to the object. Okay, to the front, maybe a little bit higher right here. Okay, the waistline will be parented now to the empty. We're going to rename this. This is the main character controller, meaning wherever we grab this, the entire model goes with it. Okay, and then when we want to animate okay, forward kinematics, probably not the best idea right there. We have to put some limitations to what they can. All right, so let me click undo. That one goes back to the way it was. The neck, it's probably gonna stay there. It's this head that's probably gonna do its thing. So let's fix the pivot point for the head. So we want it down here. So that would be mesh, snap cursor to selected. Okay, just this one. Mesh, snap cursor to selected. Then we go object set origin to 3D cursor. So this one then can do its thing. Looks like that's how they animate it in the game. That it actually shows the top part of the neck right there. Okay, and of course, okay. All right, it looks like for just forward kinematics without using any bones, this rig is now ready. All right, so let's end this one. So this will be part 4. The next one is to rig the body with bones, and then part 6 will be the tail right there with bendy bones. If it doesn't work as good as I thought it would be, it will be. We're going to use hooks and a curve for that one. All right, so I'm going to end the recording here.